seem really fitting. Time signatures and music. These are difficult times.
Okay. Well, I was going to stream this to X as well, and I just got a message saying it requires a premium account. So
Um, that would have been exciting.
yeah. Well, we're also
Um,
streaming to oh, I can't even remember the name of the damn website. It's one that gamers used to use a lot for streaming, and
Twitch.
yeah, I think it's Twitch. No, I
There's
don't
a
know.
few.
What is it?
Um,
Uh, it is
I
Twitch.
gotta make
Yeah.
I gotta make sure that the Signs movie in the background isn't audible
All right.
because that'll totally get the video removed.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, while you do that, I am going to start reading Static Warp's letter. So I went to invite somebody to the stream today, and I just searched my inbox for the most recent email from him so I could reply to it, and I discovered one from last October that I'd never read. It was still in bold, so I knew I'd never opened it. But somebody that I had invited to be on this live stream, who I'm thinking didn't get the invitation because I sent it to, well, I just responded to his email, and I think he was writing from one he doesn't check all the time. But somebody who is known to CROM listeners, most likely, is Static Warp Shell. And he wrote, "Hi, KMO. Just listen to the C-Realm Vault 466 discussion, loosely focused around the possibility of another civil war in the USA. You mentioned in the video or podcast a while back that something about Tim Pool's delivery rubs you the wrong way. I agree, and I think I have figured out what it is, at least for me. Tim Pool presents himself as a journalist and social commentator. I've taken in enough of his material over the years that I can say for sure that he is both to some degree. But what he is first and foremost, and he mentions this much less often, is a businessman. His main business is selling infotainment media. I don't find him off-putting just because he's a businessman. I think what irks me is the fact that he knows the recommendation algorithms are destroying our culture, even does long screeds about this on a regular basis, but is still enslaved, but he still enslaves his content to them. All right. And oh, I see Benjamin has muted his mic. um
It should
where are
still be
we?
playing.
I don't find him off putting just because he's a businessman. I think what irks me is the fact that he knows the recommendation algorithms are destroying our culture, even does long screeds about this on a regular basis, but he still enslaves his content to them. This cynical approach to marketing his content on all social media platforms is successful for sure, but the fact that he knows how destructive it is and still does it, combined with the fact that he's a little bit of a douche, sets me slightly on edge when I listen to his videos. Evidence of this cynical approach is easy to find in his content. He often says things like, "I did a video on Bud Light and it got lots of views, so here's another video on Bud Light." Hence, I'm pretty sure the only reason Tim Pool talks about the supposed inevitability of another civil war in the US is that his viewers love it, and thus the algorithm loves it. Which makes me wonder, which is the chicken and which is the egg? Why is it that paranoid content like this is so popular on social media? Tim Pool's take on this is that bad news is regarded as more important for evolutionary reasons. If someone comes up to you and tells you today is going to be rainbows and sunshine, there is not much of a psychological or physiological effect. If that same person came up to you and told you that there was an army of racist scumbags marching down the street to rape and kill your family, your whole body responds involuntarily, and you pay 100% attention to this potential threat. For days afterward, you would probably find worry over this possibility coming unbidden into your mind, and you crave new information about the threat. Knowing this, Tim keeps producing this kind of paranoid content. He knows his viewers are addicted to it, a completely cynical, business-like approach to the topics he covers. I know all this about Tim Pool because I enjoyed watching the Bud Light boycott controversy, and he probably produced more videos about it than anyone else. After watching all of his Bud Light videos, I continue to tune in to his new stuff on a fairly regular basis. Since there is not much else in the genre of daily casual infotainment on YouTube these days that I find tolerable. That fact in itself, and there is not much interesting infotainment in my YouTube feed, ties back to the problem with algorithmic recommendations. If I had to pick a single thing that I think is pushing people further into the sort of paranoid nihilism that leads them to warlike activity, it is the proprietary secret algorithms that select what people view. It's easy to verify the dark side of this technology. You've noticed in the past that if you go to a fresh Roku TV and watch a single rising video on YouTube, even while signed out, the recommended video feed will immediately populate with Fox News and all manner of right-wing content. Watch any of these videos and you'll keep getting content that pushes further and further right, and not just right, but what I can only describe as down. I ran this experiment recently, and within days I was getting recommendations for lame goons like Gavin McInnes and Anthony Cumia, whom I've never heard of. Not to mention wading through all of the insane doomsday fantasy videos about the market crash that is definitely happening tomorrow, people freaking out about the trans issue, etc. My girlfriend mentioned that the same thing happened to her with Judeo-Christian content. She started off watching Jewish housewives talk about the banal details of their kosher households, videos about